What a beautiful, beautiful sunset. I don't even want to step in here and block your view. So I usually stand in the middle of the screen so you can see me well. But beautiful sunset here in Asuncion, Paraguay. But a cloudy sunset here on this beautiful Saturday. Paraguay. Paraguay is boring. There's nothing to do here, man. It's a place where you just come. You got nice sunsets to look at, but that's about it. You come and you sit in your apartment all day. You peck away on your keyboard, doing whatever beep boop Wi-Fi job you do, and that's it. You go to the gym. You go to the grocery store. You drink your tereré, if you even become assimilated enough to know what tereré is. And yeah, you get back on the plane because you want to pull your hair out for how boring it is. And then you tell all your friends about your 2-week trip to Asuncion that you only made because you were just coming here for a quick residency stop anyways. Your agency that charged you out the wazoo to do your residency for you told you you have to come to I don't even know what the step is. Sign off on something, do the application. And you're like, okay, I'll stay here for a couple weeks and check it out, right? Make something out of the trip. And it was boring. And there was nothing to do. Hope you can hope you can smell the sarcasm in my voice. Wrong. This place is not boring. That's a big misconception. I'm going to speak about Asuncion, Paraguay specifically, because that's what I know best. Sure, maybe the middle of absolute nowhere in the interior of the country might be boring, but Asuncion is not. Asuncion is not. And yeah, I think it is a big misconception. A lot of people look at this as like the boring city in Latin America. Now it's starting to become a little bit more well known, at least amongst the Latin America expat community. But a lot of people still see it as like the boring one, the low taxes one, the one where you go to do nothing. Not true. So I want to give you, this is going to be a hybrid of two things. One, on one hand, I'm just going to be telling you why it's not boring. And two, on the other hand, I'm going to be giving you advice on how to have an entertaining experience here. Because ultimately, that's what's going to be most useful to you. I can tell you it's fun all day long, but how do you actually make it fun for yourself, right? So, my name is Esteban. I am an American expat, and I live here in beautiful sunset. Oh, the clouds covered it up. Almost beautiful sunset, Asuncion, Paraguay, and I have no plans of leaving. Check out the rest of the channel to find out more about expat life in general, as well as life here in Asuncion. And like and subscribe. Follow for more, all the normal stuff. So let's get into it. Why is Asuncion not actually boring? Because there is plenty to keep you entertained from about Thursday to Sunday. And I'm being like, I could easily cut out Thursday if I wanted to be a little bit more conservative. But no, I'll actually throw in Thursday. Yeah. Your whole weekend here will be stacked. Once you find what to actually do, and I'll get into that. But again, Thursday to Sunday, as I've said many times before, Paraguay is not a place for degenerates. Meaning, if you want to come here and be degen and go out from Monday to Monday, don't come here. You will eventually get bored. You'll run out of ammo in the chamber, and you'll be like, all right, where's the next party? And you've done it all. Huh. But Paraguay is a place that tends to attract people who want to be here for a little bit longer term, who want to just build a more sane, productive, balanced lifestyle. And I think it is a perfect place for those people to come and be able to have that lifestyle while also being super entertained when they need it. Is Paraguay super... I keep on saying Paraguay. Just whenever I say, just assume Asuncion. For this video, assume Asuncion. Because this is kind of city dependent. Is Asuncion a super flashy, visually stimulating, dopamine minefield? No, it's not. it is on the surface, right? You know, on paper, it is more chill. It does have, you know, less to offer in that sense, in terms of just sheer amount of crazy tourist attractions, nightclubs, concerts, festivals, right? You know, after parties, right? All this stuff. It's not, you know, super in your face, like you might see in some other places. Why do I kind of like that? Well, because I can stay more productive, right? There's not as much distraction. But ultimately, what I think it is, and what I think a lot of people come to appreciate here, is that they come to find out that they can flip a switch on and off in a way that's sometimes hard to do in other places. Which you can come here, and from Monday to Friday, if you want to be locked in bunk mode from Monday to Friday, um, you can have that switch off and it will stay off. There will be nothing in your external environment that will try to push it on. What do I mean by that? Walking out of your apartment building, and before you know it, you're in the middle of a massive red light district that stretches for miles and miles and miles. Here it's like, sure, you have Carmelitas, Calle Palma, but most people don't live in Carmelitas or right on Calle Palma. For the most part, you know, in the areas that you're going to live in, you walk out of your apartment and it's chill. There's not too much going on. There's not random, you know, cars with cringy LED underglow driving by you, blasting reggaeton at 3:30 a.m. Right? If you want to hear reggaeton blasted, you have to go find it. You have to go find the party, find the club, and go put yourself in that atmosphere. You're not going to see hookers walking around the street. For the most part, your neighbors are going to be pretty chill as well, and they will expect the same out of you. So it's like, you can stay in your bubble, you can be a hermit when you need it, but once you're ready to flip that switch on, boy, can you. I will transition. How do you do it? How do you flip the switch on? I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. First step is people, right? You come down here, and you have to be here for a little bit. Actually, no. This is my actual first step, is be here for a while. Like I've said before, Paraguay isn't a place that's great for a few days trip. Be here for long enough. I recommend like at least 90 days. Call it 60, at least 60 days to kind of really feel the place out. And be intentional about just going out and meeting people, right? Meeting other foreigners, especially foreigners who have been here for a while. Meeting locals who can show you the ropes. And before you know it, they will be able to point you out to all the cool, fun stuff to do. What is that fun stuff to do? I'll break it up into two halves. You know, nightlife and call it day life, daytime activities. Nightlife, there's plenty of bars, of nightclubs, of shows, of concerts to keep you entertained on the weekends. For the most part, there's like a cool DJ who comes in internationally at least 3 times a month, right? So, again, it's not going to be going from Monday to Monday, but you're still going to have plenty on almost any Saturday to go out and see something really cool. And there's plenty of atmosphere. There's plenty of things to do once you go find it, and once you have the people to tell you where to go and what Instagram pages to follow, and you know, what streets to go check out. There's going to be plenty of nightlife. Daytime activities. Sorry, I just smacked my microphone. You've got your cool parks. Go out for a walk, go out for a stroll, go out in the city. You've got a lot of incredible nature within a very short driving distance away. You can even Uber out to some of these places as well. They're really not that far. You've got the La Costanera. Oh, damn, look at the sun. That's it, setting in just behind that building. It's just glowing red. We're looking at the Costanera right now, right over there, that bay of water. That whole area is the Costanera. So you can go hang out over there, and then you've got all Centro, which for the most part during the day is pretty cool to see. And another thing is, this starts to blend both lines, right, day and night, because they're equally versatile for both, is asados, right, and rooftop pools. One thing that I really like about Asuncion specifically is that so many of the buildings that your friends are going to be living in, like if, for the most part, when you get here, you're going to be connecting with a lot of other foreigners. So many of the buildings that yourself and the other foreigners are going to be living in are built within like the past 10 years, right? They're very new. So what do all these developers do, nowadays, right? In the 2020s, is they want to get as much rent as possible, and they want to market it as a luxury, nice, entertaining building. So they put cool amenities in it. Nice rooftop swimming pool with a grill, the entertainment space around the grill, gyms, co-working spaces. Some even have crazy nice stuff like spas and saunas and boxing rings, and just some get really crazy. But for the most part, your standard setup is going to be a swimming pool with a grill and an entertainment space around the grill that you can rent. And you just like a rooftop area that you can hang out and show on. So during the day, especially now during the summer, a lot of people just hanging out at the pool, right? You're hanging out at the pool, having some tereré, having a cold beer, whatever you want. And there's so much of that. It's so accessible because so many of these buildings are new that you're just going to have a lot of options there. Now, that is, okay, what are the things to do? Well, there are a couple things missing from there, like massive festivals with 1,000 people. Yeah, probably don't have that here. Aside from that, I mean, like, what else do you need? You don't need that. Could there be some more parks in the city? Yeah. But yeah, there's plenty to keep you entertained when you need it. So those are the actual things to do. Now, I want to speak more on what makes this place actually unique in terms of how to find the fun things and why the dynamic here, the overall entertainment landscape here, I think is so much more enjoyable than a lot of other destinations, and especially when you compare it to our home countries. So, people open doors, right? You come here, you're going to need friends to kind of invite you. It's very social circle dependent, especially amongst Paraguayans. Paraguayans can be very cliquey. They're cliquey, but their cliques are pretty open if you're cool. Like, they're not going to exclude you from their clique if you're a good guy, but they will have the clique. But you gotta work your way into the cliques. So, because of that, what you'll find is that for the most part, once the city does open up to you, you're going to find yourself going out in groups more and going to more private events. The private events, I think, are really the icing on the cake that makes this place so special. Last night, I hosted an asado, and it was great. It started out as an asado, it turned into pretty much a party, and it was incredible. If any of the guys who are watching this were there, which I know a couple of my subscribers that were there, huge shout out to you for coming. It was a great time. It was about 60-ish people in total that came throughout the course of the night. And yeah, we were hanging out on the 27th floor of a nice building, eating some incredible meat. People brought their drinks, beer, wine, whatever, and just hanging out. And it was a great, mature, cool group of people, a nice mix of locals and foreigners, right? Which that's something that I really like to be able to provide to people as much as possible. Is just opportunities to network, and opportunities to kind of build that bridge, or be that bridge between locals and foreigners, right? Your expats and your Paraguayans. So I feel like we were able to get like a really good. It was damn near 50-50, I would say. If you were to go in there with a notepad and tally up the numbers, you would probably get about a clean 50-50 split of locals and foreigners. And yeah, people were networking, making new friends, and it was a very wholesome and entertaining experience. We also had a DJ playing some good techno. My friend Christian, shout out to you. Great music. And yeah, because these private events, like this is why it's so much better when you go to these private events, because there's more trust. You know a lot more of the people there. For the most part, the people who tend to be here long enough to get invited to those private events are people who are here to stay, so you can make more actual lasting long-term friendships. And an environment that's a lot more intimate. And there's like an automatic sense of unity when you're in a private event, and people are a lot more comfortable just going up to someone they don't know and just saying what's up. Whereas think about it, if you're in like a nightclub, like a public space, you go up to somebody and say what's up, you're not gonna feel quite as comfortable, it's not gonna feel quite as natural. Whereas in an event like that, like that's what it's designed for. Right? So everybody's doing that. So here, because there's not as many crazy public spaces, we're kind of incentivized to do more private events, and those private events are great. Now, it's not just Asados like the one I did. It can be private house parties. It can be, group outings where people will go and they'll rent a car and they'll go out to maybe go hike a mountain, or they'll go on runs, right? They'll go play paddle, right? All this stuff. It all falls under the same veil as like big group of people who invite each other, and then friends of friends, and then you get a big mix, and then people who don't know each other get to meet one another, and it's just a much more trustable atmosphere. And I think that's so much more entertaining. Like, I would much rather be at an asado like the one I did last night, or going out and playing paddle with some friends, than just walking through a sea of strangers at a nightclub. Like, I prefer that version of entertainment 10 times out of 10. Oh, dude, especially like if you like to party, some of the house parties here are super sick. I personally didn't get to go to Samba this year, but right now it's in January, or it's February now. Shoot, people in San Bernardino, that's like the summertime party town of Asuncion. But sick. There's cool nightclubs too, but some sick house parties are going down right now. And yeah, those are just like, it's free. You can kind of do what you want. Like, don't trash the house. Be a good guest, but it's like they're just more open. Like, there's not as much security down your throat. So yeah, it's just a lot more wholesome that way, and that's kind of the meta here. It's much more of a social circle and private event sort of meta, which yes takes longer to break into, but it's a lot better on the other side. And another topic that's extremely prevalent is safety. Is safety. Is Asuncion the safest place in the world? No. Is it extremely safe for Latin American standards? Yes. Yep. For Latin American standards, it's very safe. And the same applies to nightlife and to social outings, right? Let's do a 1v1 comparison. Carmelitas, which in case you don't know, is like the new that's not a red light district. I mean, sure, we can call it a red light district, like bar and nightclub area of Asuncion. It's in Villamora. Let's compare that to Provenza in Medellin. Or Banguilleras, but I guess Provenza and Banguilleras are pretty much the same thing anyways. Let's call it Provenza in Medellin. Is Provenza cooler and flashier? Yes. Are there more options in Provenza? Yes. Are the girls hotter in Provenza? Maybe. Half of them are working, and half of those might put something in your drink, but that's exactly the topic I'm about to talk about. You compare that to Carmelitas. Carmelitas is more humble, not quite as flashy. But again, it's like you are only one human, and like, how long are you going to be out anyways, right? Sure, there might be twice as many nightclubs in Provenza. I'm just guessing, but you're only probably going to go to 1, 2, or 3 throughout the course of the night anyways, if you're going to actually enjoy them. Right? If you're bar hopping a little bit, sure, maybe 4 or 5, but I mean, now you're pushing the limit. And Carmelitas has plenty for you to be able to accomplish that. So like, it's enough. It's enough to keep you entertained. And again, you're not a degenerate who's going out from Monday to Monday. You're just going out for the weekend, hanging out with people. Hopefully at this point you've met some cool friends. You have a group of people to go with. And you're not having to walk around with your head on a swivel as much. And that's so valuable. Like, you can't put a price on that. You hear the stories all the time. Insert gringo goes to Provenza, meets some girl, we're having a drink. Before you know it, he comes back from the bathroom, he takes a sip, his screen turns off for 12 hours, and then he wakes up, and his clothes were gone, his passport's gone, his phone is gone. Once he finally recovers his phone, there goes his crypto portfolio. oh crap. Worst case is his liver is gone, but I feel like that's not as common. I don't know. I hope not. But yeah, it's like that stuff happens there. Now, is it super, super common? Like, no. If you've got a little bit of street smart, you can avoid it. But I don't want to have street smarts. But I'm gonna redo this so I can get the emphasis. But I don't want to have street smarts. I have it, right? I'm not stupid. It's difficult to take advantage of me, but I don't want to have to be employing that skill every second of my night out. You walk out, okay, 4 a.m. or 6 a.m., the bar closed. All right, now you're walking out into the street in Provenza. You look around, bro, take your watch off. Again, if you're smart, you'll be fine, but that stuff happens way, way, way more often. You know, if you're some wealthy looking, good looking foreigner with some nice jewelry on, stumbling through Parquilleras, bro, you are a glowing red target. You are. Here, you still shouldn't do that. You should not be stumbling around with nice jewelry on here. But the odds of you, the probability of somebody coming up to you with a gun and saying, give me all of that, is much, much, much lower. So what you come to find is that, yes, though this place is less flashy, when you do go out, you don't have to be as alert, which allows you to just kind of focus on the moment a little bit, right? It allows you to feel a bit more present. Just be yourself. Just have fun. I don't want to have to make sure nobody's put some crap in my drink. I don't want to have to make sure there's no random guy with a hoodie on walking behind me a block away. Oh my God. And then they have this, I mean, I'm not going to get too into it, but this ridiculous saying, no that papaya, it was your fault, bro. What kind of society just accepts that? Oh, well, yeah, robbery is just a thing. Like, it was your fault if you got robbed. Again, like, not everybody thinks that's that way, but I think the people who do, it's like, no, like, yes, you should be smart. Like, that just goes without saying, but there should be no societal acceptance of that sort of behavior, right? I think we live in a better place if everybody just kind of understood that, like, robbery is not a good thing. And here we are at least closer to that point than we are in some other places. And I don't even have to compare it to Latin America, for example. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Come on. You go out in Atlanta at 5 a.m. stumbling drunk, you can definitely get mugged. People, oh yeah, you park your car in the wrong spot on a night out, you come back and your window is shattered. Hate that. So stuff like that just doesn't happen as much here. And yeah, it allows you to have more fun when you are going out. So that's pretty much it. I think we've covered what we need to cover in this video. Yeah, to sum it all up, there's plenty of stuff to do to keep you entertained from Thursday to Sunday. Bars, nightclubs, DJs, parks, hiking trips, runs, paddle, asados, queen parties, just random pool hangouts. There's plenty of stuff to do. And it does take longer to really get access to it, but once you get that access to it, you'll find it's so much. It's genuine. It's long-term friendships. It's trustworthy people. It's safer. Oh, to go back to that safety point, I don't want to harp on this too much, bro. At my asado yesterday, like I said, probably 60 people showed up. Bro, I left this microphone on the table with the receiver. It's like a $250 microphone for the set. I left it on the table with the box open all night. Nobody touched it. My friend left his backpack with an iPad mini in it. It was like a little mini backpack with the iPad in it. On the table. He went home. He drank a bunch and went home. And then he was calling me like, hey man, is my backpack there? I'm like, yes, I got it, no worries. I returned it to him this morning. Nobody touched it. And I did not have my eyes glued to it. I was doing my own thing and I came back to it and it was there. My mic was there and his backpack was there. Great. Right? In an environment like that where, you know, I invited most of the people or they were friends of friends. Like there's a sense of connection. There's a sense of community. It's like, We're not going to steal each other's stuff. You don't need to. Whereas, bro, you throw that same party, that same private party in Poblado, chances are some sussy character is going to show up. Some friend of a friend with a couple too many tattoos is going to dap you up at the door, and before you know it, he's gone. There he goes. Oh, shoot. My phone's gone. My wallet's gone. What was that guy's name again? Ah, crap. I don't even remember his name. Some random friend of a friend of a friend came through and walked out with $1,000 worth of electronics. That guy just made his entire month's income off of your phone. Here, way less common. And yeah, that's it. Once you're down here, just be intentional about meeting the right people and about finding where to go and how to have fun. If you need my help, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. We can connect on there at Esteban Expat. Or just subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Keep up with the rest of the content to find out more videos about this topic. Or to watch more videos about this topic and just about ways to get adapted to the city. And yeah, that's it. I'll leave out with this final point. Final point. Come here. Almost any expat you've talked to who's been here for at least a little while will tell you it was boring when I first landed, but now I love this place. But now I'm never bored involuntarily. They'll never tell you like, yeah, there's some days where I just sit around on a Saturday and there's no options. Because that's real boredom. You can choose to be bored. Like I said, you can flip the switch on and off. When it's off, when you want to be bored and locked in, that's good. That's productive. Real boredom is when you're trying to flip the switch on and go out and do some fun stuff and there's nothing to do. That's boredom. Now everyone will tell you the same thing. Once you settle in here, as soon as you want to flip on that switch, you got plenty of stuff to do. So keep that in mind. Buy the flight, come on down, and you'll find out for yourself. Find out for yourself that there's plenty to keep you entertained, and that the people who came here for 2 weeks and said this place was boring, you're wrong. See you soon.